When you live anywhere long enough, it's all too easy to think that your society's customs are completely normal, even if it's considered incredibly strange elsewhere in the world. American television and movies are often shown in other countries, so the rest of the planet is exposed to the strange things that happen in the good old US of A. Number 10. Asking "how are you" when they don't actually care. In America, there's always a lot of friendly small talk going on in public places. These short conversations with cashiers, co-workers, and acquaintances almost always go something like this. "Hello, how are you?" Then the recipient of the greeting responds so quickly it blends into almost a single word, "I'm good, how about you?" And then the other person responds, "Fine, thanks." It's essentially just a very long way of saying hello. It is such a pre-established norm that no one even stops to question it. In fact, if anyone actually responds to "how are you" with a truthful answer, the other person usually shrinks back in horror because they don't actually want to know about how you woke up late and were late for work, or maybe anything about those blasted TPS reports. In other countries, they simply say hello and don't ask how the person is doing unless they're actually friends. Number 9. Cheerleaders at sporting events. Other countries think that all competitive sports need are a lot of protein, water, and cardio, and then the team can succeed. But they've apparently got it all wrong. Americans know that what they really need to win a game are cheerleaders. Of course, it wouldn't be possible to win if the prettiest girls in the school weren't cheering for the players. It's so strange to other countries that they'll see an American television show or a movie and think surely that's just an over-sexualized trope that's not actually real. Well, no, it is very real, and it's at virtually every high school and college in the USA. Cheerleading isn't just a fun pastime for the sidelines of football games either. It has become a competitive sport of its own where girls and boys train in gymnastics and dance. There are even huge competitions on state and national levels where cheerleaders can compete for prizes and scholarships. Number 8. Pharmacies are basically convenience stores. In other parts of the world, a pharmacy is called the chemist because it's just that. It's a place to pick up your medications. But in the United States, a pharmacy is basically a convenience store. You can buy makeup, snacks, drinks, perfumes, magazines, and just about anything else you can think of. Many of the major pharmacy chains like CVS, Rite Aid, and Walgreens are even open 24/7, just in case you need something in the middle of the night. Even though it's called a pharmacy, the actual medicine counter to pick up your prescriptions is all the way in the back of the store, which forces you to walk through the aisles to get your medicine. Unless, of course, you'd rather get your prescription medicine at the drive-thru, which isn't something you'll see in other countries either. Many other countries do not even have drive-thrus for their fast food chains, let alone the place where they pick up their drugs. Number 7. Wearing pajamas in public. When you're on a college campus or in the suburbs, it's not uncommon to see Americans walking around in their pajamas or sweatpants. Whether it's someone who is out late at night to grab something at Walmart or a student who's rolling out of bed and showing up to class, everyone has an excuse as to why they think pajamas in public are okay. The idea behind this is that American people care more about personal comfort, and most people sympathize with it. Some American people truly don't care if you see them in their pajamas. In fact, if you are living outside of a city and you get too dressed up to go out in public, people will stare at you and wonder why you're trying so hard to look good. In other countries, people always get dressed before they leave the house. It's pretty much completely unheard of to leave the house unless you're looking presentable. And if they're not presentable, everyone assumes that there's something seriously wrong. Also, just add a personal note here that I think like at some UK universities, people would be wearing pajamas to class. When I was at university, it definitely happened. Not on a big scale, though. Maybe people let me know in the comments if that's still a thing. Number 6. Smiling at strangers. Indeed, in most countries around the world, if you smile at a stranger, it's because you're flirting with them. But in America, it's considered almost necessary to smile and politely acknowledge another person's existence. This is especially true for women who are often harassed on the street by men who will tell them to smile more. This can even happen in the workplace, where people are told by their co-workers or bosses that they aren't smiling enough. Not all Americans do this, though. In major cities on the East Coast, like New York City, people are so busy that they don't bother to acknowledge one another, so introverts can breathe a sigh of relief that they don't have to worry about being rude. Smiling at strangers is far more prevalent among suburban white people whose parents told them to be friendly. For this reason, it's been called the awkward white person smile. It's where you make eye contact with another person and you feel obligated to smile, but you're not actually smiling, so it turns into this weird sort of closed mouth curve of your lips. In the southern states, people will actually smile and talk to you, so be prepared for an onslaught of friendliness. It's a real thing. Number 5. Jumbo sizes. In America, every fast food chain has an option to upgrade your meal into a supersize or jumbo size option. They make it even easier to indulge in more food by making these size upgrades just a few more cents more expensive than the normal size. Even with the standard sizes of small, medium, and large, America has the biggest McDonald's cups compared to everywhere else in the world, with the exception of Canada's large cup, by the way. Even a small size soda is more than the daily recommended amount of sugar for a healthy diet, and yet Americans feel cheated if they don't get to drink tons of it. They also expect free refills, which people take advantage of because, well, it's free, so why not? Other countries around the world do not give free refills, and they do not give their customers incentives to pay for larger size portions. This is one of the many reasons why obesity rates in the US are some of the highest in the world. Number 4. Leaving tips. In the United States, it's customary to give a tip to servers in restaurants as well as delivery people and pretty much everyone who's doing a service-based job. For foreigners visiting the country, they're often confused about who they need to tip and who they don't, and it becomes very baffling and expensive. And I can absolutely testify that this is true. Also, you go into a restaurant and the price on the menu is not what you end up paying once you've done the service and the tax and all of this stuff. Very different. In most countries around the world, people working in the service industry are actually being paid a living wage, so it's not necessary to tip them. In fact, people from other countries are often shocked to find out that waiters in American restaurants make less than the minimum wage and that the customers are expected to pay the rest of their salary so that they can actually survive. It's really quite a bizarre thing to a foreigner. To make matters worse, many of the waiters and waitresses do not get to keep their tips in full when they do an exceptionally good job. Tips are usually collected together and split evenly among employees so that cooks and busboys get some of the money too. Number 3. Using red Solo cups at parties. Yet another trope in TV and movies about the American high school and college experience is those red plastic Solo cups that you see everywhere. And just right now, I learned that these are called Solo cups. Just like cheerleading, there are people in other countries who aren't sure if this is a real thing or if it's just a badly written cliche. I totally assumed it was. The idea behind drinking out of a red plastic cup at a party is that no one can tell what you are drinking. If the cops show up, who's to say you're not just drinking soda? This became popular among underage drinkers at college parties, and it continues to be an American staple to this very day. They even make tiny shot glass-sized versions of red Solo cups. I guess when the police show up, you just tell them that you really prefer tiny portions? On top of the cups concealing what's inside, it's cheap to buy plastic cups in bulk and save them for parties. If things get crazy, it's also not possible to break these cups, and they're often used for games of beer pong as well. Other countries find this so funny that we do throw American-themed parties sometimes, and we do use the red cups. Number 2. Overzealous Patriotism. American flags are plastered all over the US. They are outside of homes, in front of public buildings, and even on the back of pickup trucks. It seems normal to most Americans to show some national pride. They see it as being grateful for living in a country that allows them to enjoy the freedoms that other countries don't allow. And if you refuse to salute the flag or stand up for the national anthem, it's practically an act of treason. In fact, the NFL now takes it so seriously that if players refuse to stand during the national anthem, their team will receive a fine for not showing ample amounts of patriotism. But for people from other countries, this is overzealous national pride, and it's really quite bizarre. In the United Kingdom, the Union Jack is rarely ever seen except for national holidays. People don't hang the national flag anywhere in their homes, and they are not constantly singing the national anthem or saluting the flag on a daily basis either. In fact, I can attest I don't even know the words to the UK national anthem. Number 1. The drinking age is 21. In most countries, the drinking age is just 18 years old. But after all, if you're old enough to vote for the next president or go to war to die for your country, why can't you have a drink? The drinking age was raised to 21 after the passing of the National Minimum Drinking Age Act of 1984. If anyone is caught giving someone under the age of 21 alcohol, it's taken very seriously and it's considered corrupting a minor. Everyone knows that high school and college kids are breaking the law, but teachers still try to stop it. Before every prom night, most high schools in the US have a crashed car sitting on the lawn of their school. That's seriously morbid. Some towns have even gone so far as to stage a mock crash with blood and all to show students what happens when you drink and drive. Again, extra morbid. The logic behind this is that at 18, most people are still in high school and they are seen as being too young and stupid to be trusted with the responsibility. By age 21, though, most young adults are either in college or working their first full-time job, so they might think twice about screwing up their life. So I really hope you found that video interesting. I sure did. If you did like it, please give us a thumbs up below. Don't forget to subscribe, do all of that good stuff. Check out my other channel, Biographics. I'm linking to that below. And as always, thank you for watching.